went their own way with it. But like he said, you know, I mean, I don't think there's a place for racism anywhere in the world, to be honest with you. But since we're talking about the kind of music that we, you know, that we do, and the kind of music that, you know, hardcore, just underground music in general, just music in general. I mean, you know, it's just, it's ignorant, you know. It's ignorant, closed-minded, and there's no place for it. It's like he said, you know, we come from a mixed background, you know. We come from a city where it's like a melting pot of people, and that's why you get the sounds that you get from those places, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, there's just no place for racism, period. You know what I mean? And we're obviously not for it. I mean, we're a Hispanic background, but that doesn't even matter. I mean, you know, we got a, you know, white guy in our band. We got a Jewish guy now in our band. You know what I mean? We've had all kinds of people, you know, come through this band, and even people in our family and our extended family in general, just mixed backgrounds. So it's like, we don't really see that kind of stuff. We don't see colors. We don't see things like that when we meet people. It's just, we just judge them based on character. And, you know, it's a shame that everybody else is not that way, but that's life. You know, some people grew up a certain way, closed-minded, and they were taught some bad things from a young age, and maybe someday they'll learn that, you know, racism is actually, you know, definitely not the right way to be, man.
And there's nothing wrong with being proud of, you know, your heritage and where you come from. But when you start thinking you're better than somebody else because the way they look or what color they are or what part of town they live, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? If everybody believed like that, we'd still be like cavemen, you know what I mean? You need everybody does their part to make the world go around. You know, so, you know, without that, you know, the world would be still, and we would be fucking who knows how many years behind.
The world was all just white people, or just one ethnic thing, or just one religion, or just one thing. It wouldn't be what it is, man. It wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like he said, you know, we'd be going nowhere. We wouldn't be evolving as a, you know, as a civilization, whatever, you know what I mean, as people. So, yeah, it's just ignorant, and it's backwards ass, and it's just like, I'm even shocked that we still even have to talk about racism in this day and age, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I thought by now people would be over that, but unfortunately, you know, that's not the case.
And definitely, they ain't no racist shit at a Madball show. That's for sure, you know what I mean? And again, we don't care, you know, how you look or whatever, but the minute you start interfering with our show or with some bullshit,
disrupting or affecting the kids that come would have paid good money to come see us play.
Yeah, that gets handled with too, you know. A lot of people handle things a different way, but we definitely don't support any type of racism, especially that, you know what I mean? And again, we represent New York hardcore, we represent hardcore music, period. And I think everybody...
On a global level, you know, we represent hardcore on a global level. So it's like, for us, there's just no place for that. There's no place for that. We grew up that way anyways, but on top of that, there's just no place for it. I mean, we play South America, we play Japan, we play Europe, we play to all people of all shapes, sizes, and colors, and that's the worldwide Madball family right there. So to come into our show with these ideologies, like these ignorant, backwards ass, you know, mentalities and whatnot, it's not, you're not really, you know, you're not supporting us. You're not supporting what we do, and we don't support what you do. That's all I can say.
So I want to ask if you have any message for the Nazi and the racist people who try to go at the Madball shows.
Be careful.
Yeah, definitely. You're better off staying home and being a Nazi on the internet where you can't get hurt. But not at a Madball show, or don't come to any show. You know, but if you come to the Madball show, we might have a surprise for you.
What do you say, John?
Fuck them. Okay. So, guys.
What's up, man?
Hello. I want to ask you something.
All right.
I want to ask you, what do you think about the Nazis and the racist people who try to going to hardcore shows?
I think it's bullshit, man. Hardcore is something that's a worldwide movement. It's been around more than a week. You know, it's been around for years and years and years. It's a place to exchange ideas. It's a place to embrace other cultures. You know, we're a long way from home, and we're here being embraced by different people. And I think anybody that wants to work against that and work against like scene unity or just really just against what this is all about, you know, about different ideas and different people coming together for one united thing, I think should be a part of it. You know, they should go wherever they came from, and you know, they should be about whatever they're about somewhere else.
Okay, I want to ask if you have any message for the racist and Nazi people who try and come into hardcore shows.
I think most people approach Nazis with the attitude of you're different and you're stupid, and no one questions why. I mean, as much as people fear them for some reason, I'd like to sit down with one like, why do you think like that? You know, who makes you think like that? What are the conditions that make you want to come here and think that your race is supreme or that your culture is somewhat superior to someone else's? Like, I mean, what drives them to think like that? Is it their economy? Is it their tradition? Is it their family? Is it their friends? Is it just their circle of influence around them? You know, and then you try to ask them like, who is your enemy and why are you fighting them? Like, what are you gonna gain from this? You know, and most people, when you ask people like that, they don't have an answer. They're just ingrained to think like that. So the message for them is like, if you're gonna come here thinking that you're gonna spread hate amongst kids who just want to have here good music and a good time and try to fight for something, like, what are you gaining from it by trying to disrupt that? You know? And if they were to step back and maybe try to learn something from the whole experience, it's like, why don't you look out at the whole world around you? And there's people fighting you, and they're using their weapons of you and race and sexual difference and orientation and all that to make people fight against each other, because there's people who fucking own everything, you know? And the way people sit here and do shitty jobs and distract themselves, watch TV and all that bullshit, you throw race in there, people fight each other, and they don't think about the people who make you think like that. You know, they never go after the source of the problem. So if you're a racist, if you're a Nazi, like, answer those questions. And if you got a good answer, I'd like to hear it, because it makes no sense to me.
Again? Yeah. So, Mike.
Hi.
I want to ask you, what do you think about racism at the hardcore shows and about like Nazis and the racists try to come at the hardcore shows?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. They're not fucking welcome. It's just like, it's obvious. And they come and see, they'll go to see Madball, who's got fucking Latinos in their band, or they'll come to see Hoods, and we've got a Jew in the band. So it's kind of like an oxymoron. It shows their fucking stupidity and ignorance. And it's like they'll go see Slayer, who's got someone from Chile in the band. It's just, they're just ignorant. I've seen Nazi skinheads at Bad Brain shows, so go figure.
And do you have any message for them? Are they welcome at the Hood show at all?
Don't come to our shows.
I'm Scott from the band Terror. This is Martine. And just something that, you know, a belief we have as a band and as people, and something we talk about on stage almost every day in some of our lyrics. Simply that people should not be judged by the color of their skin or any nonsense like that. Everyone's an individual, and you should judge people for who they are on the inside. And people that like racist generalizations like that are first of all retarded, and second of all not tolerated in the underground. It shouldn't be tolerated anywhere, but in the hardcore scene, I think people speak out about things, and this is one of the things that we believe in. Definitely racists aren't welcome at our shows and shouldn't be welcome in anywhere. So that's what I have to say, Martin.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's crazy because in the U.S. you don't really see it. You don't see it as much as you, not as much, but it's not like as prominent as it is here. So we don't have those kind of problems where you kind of have to stand up to them at the door and not let them in, and to come here and see that. I think it sucks that you guys have to do that, but I think it's awesome that you do it and you take the time to be organized, and you don't take any shit, you don't let them in, and I think that's like one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I was a part of it last time we were here in the Czech Republic. I saw it with my own eyes, and I stood at the front lines with everybody with their masks and batons ready to go to war if they had to, and I think it sucks that it has to come down to that, but I think it's such a beautiful thing that there's so many people willing to, to actually physically put themselves up and get them the fuck out of here, because this is the last place they should be, like, go anywhere else but here. Like, it's almost like laughable that they would want to even come to one of these shows, because it's the complete anti to what they're about. So it's like, it would be like me showing up to a Klan rally, like, yeah, this is great, this is where I want to be, it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So it's like, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna be a Nazi, neo-Nazi, whatever, stay away from, the people that don't want you around. Just make life easier for everybody. Live in your fantasy world where there's gonna be racial purity and cleansing and maybe a war and all this. Like, go out in the woods and be happy being yourself, and don't bother me or any of us with that shit. Let us have our fun in our show, and do what we do. So yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
All right.
It's totally enough.
Fly over, fly over.